25 days. 25 days. It took Manka Dhingra 25 days to finally let go of her lie about being a prosecutor. This segment is brought to you by Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Some patients like me can lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Schedule your free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. If you've been watching the show, you know that 25 days ago, we broke an exclusive story on this show that State Senator Manka Dhingra, who is a Democrat running for Attorney General, has been lying for years about being a King County deputy prosecuting attorney. She hasn't worked as one in any full-time capacity since 2017. She came back on a part-time basis for a few short months in 2019 and 2021, basically in 2021 during COVID to help with some systems that she was more familiar with. She hasn't worked there in several years, yet she's out on the campaign trail saying she's a senior deputy prosecuting attorney with King County. So we end up speaking to King County. HR says she doesn't work here. She's not on a leave of absence. So we call Manka Dhingra out for lying. She doesn't update any of her bios. She doesn't update any of her campaign material. Tries to ignore it. Then a couple mainstream outlets jump in. Como News covered our story. The Seattle Times covered our story and a few others. Then she felt a little more pressure to, okay, this is all a misunderstanding. I'm on a leave of absence. So I'll change it to, current prosecutor leave of absence, which also was a lie. The HR department at the prosecutor's office had told her a week before that in an email, you're not on a leave of absence. You don't work for us. Please stop saying you work for us and take it out of your election material. So she just doubled down with an even worse lie and just thought, well, I'll just see what happens from there. Well, then King 5 picked the story up. And I give some of the local stations credit for finally, I think it took them so long, but now not relenting and not saying no, you can't just change it to you're on a leave of absence. They say you're not. You're not on a leave of absence. So King 5 News, Drew Mickelson did a story that aired yesterday. The headline, AG candidate changes website bio after request from King County prosecuting attorney's office. So they noted that yesterday Manka Dhingra did update at least most of her bios, social media to say former prosecutor, which is, as Nicole has said all along, what would the problem have been? Had you been out there calling yourself a former prosecutor, no one would have cared. So now she's like, okay, I got to let go of the grift. I'm going to tell the truth. But here's what gets me. For the love, she still cannot just admit that she was wrong and that she wasn't being truthful. She still cannot have any humility, like she has to blame other people for all of this. She told King 5 in a statement. I'm just going to read the full statement. This is a semantic issue about how to describe the open invitation I have to return to my career as a senior criminal prosecutor. We have used the term leave of absence as a descriptor of my 2-decade relationship with the office, not as a technical employment status. This distraction has been pushed by my opponents to diminish my career protecting families and communities. But I am still the only candidate in this race with the legal and legislative experience to stand up for the people of Washington. It's not, first of all, it's not a semantics issue. This has nothing to do with word choice. They said you're not on a leave, you don't work there. Yet you were saying you worked there, and then when you were caught, you said you were on a leave, and you just could not say, I don't work there anymore. And now you are saying that. So now we have gotten to the truth there. But that line, this distraction has been pushed by my opponents to diminish my career protecting families and communities. We did not speak, I can tell you definitively, we did not speak to her opponents as part of this story. We did not work with her opponents as part of this story. This story was not given to us by her opponents. We got a tip from concerned people within the prosecutor's office that she continued to go out there and claim she was like a working attorney with the prosecutor's office when she wasn't. So it is a lie, yet another lie, for her to claim that her opponents were pushing this. Now, I'm sure her opponents are happy about it. I'm sure her opponents love the story. I'm sure her opponents have shared the story. I am sure her opponents will use the story in the election, which they have every right to do. But I can tell you definitively on the record that neither of her opponents were our sources for this reporting. And frankly, we didn't even need any sources because all we had to do is ask the prosecutor's office, does she work there? And they said no. And then they asked her to stop saying she works there. So that's just the truth. We reported the truth. She doesn't like it. So Now she's trying to blame it on someone else. True to form for Manka Dhingra. But yeah, now she says, all of her bios say, former 2-decade senior prosecuting attorney. She is a 2-decade former senior deputy prosecuting attorney. Like, I don't understand what her issue is. Just say that you were a longtime prosecutor with King County.
Or just former.
It's so easy.
Former. And then she still hasn't updated her Twitter, though.
Yeah, she's got some that she has yet to update. So I'm sure she's getting around to it. 25 days. Unbelievable.